58 people killed, 59 including the shooter, and more than 500 injured in Las Vegas, many clinging to life. And Democrats wasted no time getting political and pushing gun control.
I know these are harsh words, but I believe it in my heart. I think there is an unintentional endorsement that gets sent to these mass murderers when after slaughter, Congress does nothing.
But should lawmakers really be politicizing the tragedy and implying that one party or the House of Representatives or Senate is responsible because they don't pass legislation that may or may not have helped? Our next guest found himself in ICU over a year ago and learned what's truly important. It's all in his brand new book, Before You Wake, Life Lessons from a Father to His Children, author and Fox News contributor Erick Erickson. Erick, this story now is your two areas of special interest. Politics is your profession, and life and death is what you've been forced to deal with you and your wife.
Right.
And sadly, both have crossed. First, on what Senator Murphy was saying. Is there an implied go sign to would-be killers because legislation's not passed?
No, I don't think there is at all. I think it's a dumb statement for him to make. The fact of the matter is the left immediately pivoted to politics, and we've drowned out the stories of all the American heroism that happened. There were terribly tragic stories of people standing up and being willing to take bullets so that others could get out alive. And the media pivoted quickly from those stories to statements like this, where nothing that Congress could have done short of amending the Constitution would have stopped this based on the facts we know now.
I mean, if you're going to play politics, and I'd rather not get into it, but I mean, how can you also not look at the 59 people on average killed a month in Chicago? If there was really some legitimate concern from late-night talk show hosts, wouldn't they be leading with that every night?
You know, they should. Not only that, but a lot of these statistics that the senator and others are using, because mass shootings in this country are actually so rare and on the decline, they've had to rig the statistics to make it worse than it is.
Do you think that Republicans would ever get behind some type of legislation that limited this so-called bump fire stocks that would make a semi-automatic and automatic, which right now, believe it or not, we found out is legal?
You know, they may very well. The problem is that if Republicans compromise, Democrats more and more are showing they're not willing to compromise, so they'll just keep pushing and pushing. Where do you draw the line?
Well, let's talk about drawing the line with you. Your family got a left and a right. First your health concerns and then your wife's. Number one, what have you gone through as a family, and how has it changed you and propelled this book?
Last year, found myself dying in an ICU with blood clots in my lungs. Luckily survived. My wife, on the same day, was diagnosed with an incurable form of cancer. She's fine. We keep her on a medicine, but eventually her cancer will mutate. We'll have to deal with it. We had protesters show up at our house. My kids assaulted at the grocery store, yelled at by a stranger, thinking their father was destroying the country, and really made me focus on the fact there is much more to life than yelling about politics every day.
And you wrote this book. Why?
Because I want my kids to know what happened last year, to remember when they grow up, but also to remember that if my wife and I aren't there, we have ways we want them to be raised, we have values we want them to share, and we want them to know there's more about life than just politics and the news.
Did you have to learn that?
Yeah, I think I did. I think so.
In what way?
My day job is politics. I do it all the time. And having to step back and realize I got to spend time with my family. We've got to spend time in the kitchen around the dinner table. And we've got to find other things to talk about in life and get to know the people next door to us. So we have real neighbors instead of Facebook friends. The real neighbors are going to come water our flowers if we're out of the house. Our Twitter followers won't.
Right. Lastly, why are you not bitter? Why are you not angry? Why are you reflective?
Because I believe in God. I know there's something better coming. I want my kids to know that.
Before You Wake is the book that's out, looks at the big picture through someone who's knee-deep in politics on a daily basis and always widely respected. Erick Erickson, thanks so much.
Thank you.